Welcome, 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 welcome. Again, happy Monday. Nice quick treat for you today. You know what? This coming Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm going to a party, and I may have to make some food. And there will be some folks who will have some wings there. Now, obviously, I'm not doing the wing thing, but you know, what can I say? So I'm going to make some hot sauce. This is something we have not done. Something I haven't done in a long time, so I have no idea how it's going to come out. I'm sure it'll taste good, but exactly how hot will it be? Will it be like killer hot or just mildly hot? I think it's going to be killer hot. So let's see what we got today. We got some apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar. We have garlic. Garlic. Can't live without garlic. We have cumin and chili powder. Right? We have lemon. Can't live without lemons either. And the peppers that we have. I was at Whole Foods today deciding what I should do, and these are my favorite hot peppers, habaneros. You see these? Yeah. I love these little peppers. These things are powerful. But I also love jalapeno. Normally when I make my salads, I might shave off pieces of jalapeno and put it in the salad. These are not as hot as the habanero. Those habanero peppers are dangerous. That said, when you're preparing this, if you touch these with your hands, do not touch your eyes. Because you may be blinded. I made the mistake of doing that one time, and I cried a little bit, but I got over it. All right, and obviously I have my blender here also. But again, do not, I'm going to cut this up a little bit. Don't touch your eyes. All right. So let's get going. Let's start out with habanero peppers. The recipe calls for 4 ounces. I'm just going to cut this up and see what happens. Taking the stems out, obviously, just pulling these little things out of here. Get rid of those. All right, got 2 more. Habanero pepper hot sauce. Now, when I look at, there we go. When I look at the recipes for hot sauce, they all have like preservatives in them. I don't think I found one that did not have preservatives in it, which is sort of interesting. I thought I might be able to find one, but no. So, you will not have any preservatives in what we're making right now. That is without doubt. So just chopping these up, and I'm going to leave the seeds in. See here, see those seeds? See that? I think you can. I'm leaving those babies in. So, since I'm not chopping these up too finely, as you can see, I don't know how much actually 4 ounces is, so I'm just going to play around with this, have some fun with it. 4 ounces is what, half a cup? I'm leaving the seeds in, so I expect to get a little more pop to it. It looks like it's less than half a cup. If it was finely chopped, it would be less. So we'll stay with this. If I need more, I'll put the jalapenos in. I don't think I will. I think this will be cool. So half a cup of habanero peppers. And you can use whatever spicy or hot pepper you want for this. All right, now garlic. We need about 3 cloves of garlic. I was actually with a gentleman yesterday. I was working on set in New York. We were filming like a corporate video. There's one poor gentleman there, he said he can't eat garlic or onions. I was like, ooh, gosh. Poor guy. Nice guy though. But he said no onions, no garlic. But you know me, I love my garlic. All right. So I'm going to start out with just 2 cloves of garlic, cutting out the bad parts from the garlic. There we go. See that? There we go. Put those in. We need also some apple cider vinegar, and I will need a cup of apple cider vinegar. Got a new bottle, shake it up. I love my Bragg's apple cider vinegar, by the way. And I'm going to put in slightly less than a cup. I'm putting in about 5/8 of a cup right now. Why? Because I don't think I have enough habanero pepper. Putting in that much. Okay, there we go. Smells good already. Haven't even done anything yet. All right, we need some chili powder. About a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. That much. See that? And we need a little cilantro. I'm sorry, a little cumin. About a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. Okay, here we go. See that? And we need some lemons. And as you know, I'm always squeezing my own lemon juice. With the lemon juice, we need about, supposedly the juice of 1/2 a lemon, but I always put in a little bit more because you know I love lemon. Strain it out a bit, get the seeds out of the way. Seed or 2 in here, so let's get these seeds out. Let's get a spoon. All right, not a whole lot. Now, obviously, I could put some salt in there, but let's see what happens. It is hot already. Look at me coughing. Now, it is pretty liquid, as you can see. I'm going to taste just a little bit. Woo! That's hot. Now, this is what I want to do. I want to thicken it up just a little bit. That said, let's see what I have here in the fridge. My old faithful ground flaxseed. As I'm sure you've seen me use it plenty of times. This will thicken it up just a little bit. But it is hot. I have more than enough pepper in there. And I'm not going to put much ground flaxseed in it, because I'm sure it doesn't need much. So I'm just going to start out with a little bit. Test it out, see what happens. So it's a little thicker. I'm coughing, as you can see. This is hot, but it tastes so good. So it's a little thicker. And a little taste. It tastes sweet and hot at the same time. So there you have it, your own hot sauce with no preservatives in it. Can't beat it. Actually, I'm going to put a little more ground flaxseed in it, just twice as much, or about the same amount as I put in before. So we're good to go. Any questions? I could put some more garlic in too, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Questions?
You know, if you take some of the seeds out, the seeds is what makes it hot, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted the seeds in, because I want it real hot. So yes.
So for us wimps,
huh?
like myself,
No. Well, the thing is, as I said, when I cut the peppers up, I wasn't sure if I had cut them finer. It may have been less than 4 ounces, so I left the seeds in. But I wanted the seeds in. That was on purpose. I like heat, baby. I like heat. Now you will not need much of this. All right. So you can combine it with some other sauces, like I have my cashew sauce that I make all the time. I could combine that with my cashew sauce and put it on my salad or my steamed veggies. And by the way, this last week I've been doing like a raw food diet, with the exception of yesterday. But I've been all raw since like last Wednesday. So using all the recipes that I'm giving to you. So think about that. Think about just doing a lot of salads, a lot of fruits, trying it out for a week just to see how you feel. I'm trying to get my weight like exactly where I want it, so that's why I'm doing it. And in addition to exercise, everything will be all right. But yesterday I was on set over in New York at 3 World Trade Center. Beautiful view, by the way. You could walk all the way around the building, so I could see every conceivable view of Manhattan, Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever I was looking. But I was over there, and when you're on set, they normally have crappy food. So I had some steamed vegetables yesterday, and I had some salted nuts and some salted cashews. Otherwise, I've been all raw. So I'm feeling pretty good. All right, so this is another raw delicacy that you can add to your list of things that we have done. It's all about hot sauce. So now when you have hot sauce and wings next week for your Super Bowl party, you got your own sauce you can put on. You can kick some butt at the Super Bowl party. Any other questions, thoughts?
Yeah, I may. Go ahead. initially I was going to ask why, the reason for doing hot sauce in the first place, because I didn't, even when you buy it off the shelf, I think of it as being a vegan product. But I understood you said that it was because of the preservatives. That's what we're trying to avoid, the preservatives.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. We are trying to avoid all food additives, everything. Okay, so they all have preservatives in them. They all have food colorings in them. They all have added sugar in them. All of them that I've seen. And a friend of mine brought me some hot sauce. I don't think I have it. She brought me some from Florida that I had here, and I don't know what the heck I did with it, but anyway, I looked at it and I'm like, I didn't want to use it. I did use it, by the way. I did eventually. But everything that I do is all about keeping everything as natural as possible.
Right.
We don't know, like food additives and the colorings and all that stuff, we don't know the long-term effect of all those things. I'm assuming it's not good.
Right.
I know there are many things that we have here in this country that are banned in other countries. So like for instance, one of the examples I gave you a few weeks ago was like McDonald's French fries. You only need 2 ingredients to make a French fry. You need oil and you need a potato and fire, right? However, in the US, there are about 17 to 18 different ingredients in McDonald's French fries.
Right.
Okay. Over in Europe, there are some countries where they only have 4 ingredients. Now, those other 13, 14 ingredients that they don't want over in Europe, I don't know why they don't want them, but if they don't want them there, I probably don't need them. From what I hear, they will not import our beef from the US into Europe. For some reason, they don't want it. I don't know why. But again, we have all the steroids and the hormones and the this and the that. I've had friends who have lived in Europe for a while, and they tell me a lot of times when they're preparing dinner for the day, they shop fresh during that day and just cook everything at night. So here, it's just a lot different. We're always trying to make more money, and the way to do that is to increase shelf life so food becomes a commodity. So we're trying to avoid all of that. So that's the reason. Any other questions? All right.
Oh, I made the curry sauce today for lunch and had it with my zoodles.
And it was good, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
My man. I like the direction you're going in, Drew. I like that direction. All natural, folks. We are at the cutting edge of being healthy. Okay? We are not joking around. We are dead serious here. We want to be fit for the rest of our lives and help other people do it also. So that's about it. See, everyone understands the need for exercise, but not necessarily the need to eat fresh food. And, as fresh as we try to be, we're still subject to pesticides and a whole lot of other things in the world. So we have to take the lesser of the evil sometimes. No one's perfect. To be perfect, you got to sell all your worldly possessions and move to a fertile plot of land somewhere on the other side of the world. I mean, if you don't want to do that and you want to stay here in the muck and morass like I am, you got to make the best out of the situation that you're in. So that is, I think we're doing that. All of you who are trying recipes, I get nothing but good reports from everything that we've tried thus far. And we have, about 30 to 35 different things on the website. So check it out. Just try it. Have some fun with it. Drew, I had some zoodles today myself. Because now that I'm doing the raw thing, I'm not cooking. I'm making a lot of zoodles in a lot of different combinations. I was going to do a salad tonight because I've eaten a lot of different types of salad, but I'll do another salad next week, like a cabbage salad that has some curry in it. It's real sweet, just to die for. All right? All right, folks. Any last thoughts, questions, anything?
Do you know, or have you heard of Jackie Reed? She's a journalist.
Jackie Reed? How do you spell her last name? R-E-E-D?
R-E-I-D. She, I think she used to be on BET. But anyway, I was listening to a Ed Gordon podcast, and she was his guest. And she has a YouTube called Vegan Sexy Cool. She's She's a vegan.
Oh. No. What was
She
her
also
first?
has a podcast. She also has a podcast with is it Joy Reid, who's on CNN. They do Read to Read or something like that.
Is Joy Reid, is that MSNBC she's on or CNN?
Joy Reid?
Yeah. I think she's on MSNBC, no?
MSN, yeah. So there's Joy Reid and this lady who's a journalist. Her name is Jackie Reid, GACQUE, and she used to be on BET and some other
All right.
shows. But anyway, she's out of DC, I believe.
Well, there are a lot of vegan groups now that are popping up all over the place. And that said, I still want you all to be very, very careful of all the stuff that you may be consuming, because even if it's vegan, it could be mass manufactured and still have all the chemicals in it that I'm trying to get you away from. Like all the preservatives and all the food colorings and all that. Like I said, I could have put salt in this, but I just didn't put any salt in because I'm thinking about blood pressure. I'm not using any oil. I'm not using any salt for the most part. Although I do have, I have my sea salt, right? And I do use it from time to time. But
yeah, I heard somebody say if you don't want salt, they said the best thing is using like vinegar or balsamic.
That's one thing. The other thing is this, is that in the American diet, most of the salt that, okay, let me back up. Number one, salt is not the problem, it's sodium. That's the real problem, okay? So let's just keep that in mind. So salt is half sodium, half chloride. Sodium chloride, that's what salt is, NaCl. So it's about half and half. So the sodium part of the NaCl is the problem. That said, most of the sodium that people get into their bodies is due to food preservatives and colorings and all those types of things. And that's about 80% of what we get into our bodies for the average American. Comes from processed food, not what they're putting on from the salt shaker. That said, I don't really have a major problem with salt, except that I know that my blood pressure can run on the high side and it runs in my family. So I'm doing everything I can to try to keep it down. Now, on a hot day where I'm outside sweating and running around, I might have a teaspoon of salt and I might chug some water after consuming it. When I play tennis, I do it all the time, because you do need sodium or salt for muscle contractions. You need electrolytes. So it's not a bad thing. It's just that we eat so much processed food that you cannot get away from it. I'll bet you right now, if you look in your pantry and look at every food item that you have that's bottled or packaged or canned, I bet 90% have sodium in it. And it doesn't taste salty to you. It doesn't taste salty. And you just would not know it. So way back in the early part of the 19th century, there's a guy called Harvey, I forget his name, but he was like maybe the first public advocate. Harvey Wine, I forget, I think his last name started with a W. Back then, in the early 1900s, I believe, when Teddy Roosevelt was president, he was fighting against sodium benzoate, something that's still used today as a preservative in food. So he knew the ills and problems with it way back then, like 100 plus years ago. And we're still doing it, but that's because we have to. Because you can't put that food on the shelves without preservatives. It's impossible. Okay? So that's why I'm going to like the supermarket every other day, because I buy all fresh produce. I don't buy anything that I can store forever, except for spices, and apple cider vinegar. I don't know how long this stores, but I only have a few processed things here, a few mass manufactured things here. That's it. So, so maybe I'm a little overzealous about what I'm doing, but my thing is just to be in supreme physical fitness when I'm like 75. That's what I think about now. I mean, I passed the 50-year mark. I'll be 75 in like another 15 years, 16 years. I want to be in the best shape you've ever known anyone at age 75. That's my goal. And you want to look young, you want to feel great, have a lot of energy, all that type of stuff, and just be an inspiration to people. That has been my goal for a long time. And I got started with veganism back in 1989. But I was a junk food vegan back then. Eat all the vegan junk food. Now I eat pretty much none of it. But it takes a while to transition away from all that stuff. So now you have all these folks who are doing podcasts and TV shows and blah, blah, blah. And whenever they're on and they're advocating a certain product, like, oh, I just bought this product the other day at blah, 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 and this tastes so good. And I'm like, well, of course it tastes good. It's supposed to taste good. You can make damn near anything taste good when you put the right chemicals in it. But can you make fresh produce taste good? Yes, you can. It just takes some energy and it takes some labor. So I recognize that what I'm asking the majority of people to do might turn them off to a degree because you have to put some effort into it. But on the back end, as you get older and you start feeling better, I'm like, it's all worth it and it's all fun. So just be careful of anything mass manufactured. Michael Pollan, one of my favorite writers, he wrote The Omnivore's Dilemma and In Defense of Food. One of his books is called Food Rules. And one of his food rules is don't eat anything with a label on it. Okay? If you stay away from anything, even if you're eating meat, right? If you stay away from everything with a label on it, you'll be far ahead of most people. All right? So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And then you put your exercise on top of all that, you'll be golden. Golden. All right? Any last thoughts, questions? Anything? You know what that means. We start exercising at 7 p.m. Okay? So I expect to see, hopefully I'll see all of you there. I'm going to break a little sweat, do some body weight work tonight. And that's going to be about it. We'll have the happiest Monday ever. All right? Now, all of you have the opportunity to contact me if you have questions about exercise, fitness, anything. Contact me. I get a lot of emails every day that I don't want to respond to. But I do want to respond to your emails because you are my folks. You're mi familia. Okay? So we got to grow older and stronger together. We don't have to break down at an accelerated rate. All right? I told you maybe 2 weeks ago, I took one of those tests where you stand on a scale and it sends these electrodes or electrolysis through your body and it measures your biological age, whatever. And I'll be 59 next month. And it said my biological age was 50. Or I'm like a 50-year-old. I'm like, I don't want to be 50. I want to be 40. Okay? I can do better. All right? And with this type of food, that's how we do better. Okay?